Here are today's headlines. Malacanang says President Duterte is ready to defend the government's war on drugs before the International Criminal Court. A senator calls for the creation of an agency that will oversee research and exploration activities in Philippine rice. The Department of Finance proposes job fairs that will draw overseas Filipino workers back to the country. And Filipinos in New York band together to help displaced families in Marawi City. Good day, I'm William Theo.
And I'm Pia Roses Morato. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom.
President Rodrigo Duterte is ready to assert the legality of the government's war on drugs before the International Criminal Court.
The president also aims to disprove allegations of crimes against humanity brought by the drug war. Here's our report.
Malacanang said President Rodrigo Duterte is ready to face the International Criminal Court to personally defend the legality of his administration's war on drugs. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque made this statement following reports that the ICC Office of the Prosecutor would begin preliminary examination on the crimes against humanity linked to the campaign against illegal drugs. Roque said that Duterte welcomed the preliminary examination as a chance to defend his drug war from allegations of crimes against humanity. He added that the case is not subject to the ICC's jurisdiction because Philippine courts such as the Ombudsman were more than able and willing to exercise jurisdiction. The palace spokesperson said the president will assert the principle of complementarity and the legality of the war against drugs as a valid exercise of sovereign powers. Roque further explained a crime against humanity must be either widespread or a systematic attack against civilian populations. Alleging extrajudicial killings, on the other hand, will not prove anything because of the lawful act to deal with the problem of illegal drugs. Roque also said Duterte wanted to ask the prosecutor who prodded the ICC to proceed to preliminary examination, noting that he suspects that it was the domestic enemies of the state behind this. He stressed that a preliminary examination only means to find grounds for an investigation and not a complaint against the president. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Giselle Danganan.
President Rodrigo Duterte is asking for more time to sign an executive order to abolish labor contractualization, or ENDO. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque said the president needed more time to review the documents. Roque's remark came a day after Duterte met in a closed-door meeting with labor groups in Malacanang on Wednesday. Labor groups earlier called for an end to contractualization through the issuance of an executive order that would give them security of tenure, self-organization, collective bargaining, and peaceful consorted activities. Aside from contractualization, other issues discussed in the meeting were wage setting, government cash subsidy, workers' representation in tripartite bodies, recruitment and facilitation fees, and freedom of association in economic zones.
Senator Sonny Angara called for the creation of an agency that will oversee research and exploration in the Philippine rice. Angara urged the government to speed up research and development in the area and utilize its resources. Here's our report.
Following Malacanang's pronouncement regarding the exploration of Philippine rice, formerly known as Benham rice, Senator Sonny Angara on Thursday called for the swift passage of his bill creating a lead agency that would oversee the conduct of scientific research and exploration of the undersea plateau. Under Angara's Senate Bill 312, a Benham Rice Development Authority or BRDA would be created to promote and facilitate the exploration and study of Benham rice. The proposed measure also mandates the body to advocate national policies that will foster integrated and balanced development of Philippine rice. Under the bill, there shall be a board of directors to be composed of the National Economic Development Authority Director General as chairman and the BRDA administrator to be appointed by the president as vice chairman. Meanwhile, members of the board will include the secretaries of the Departments of Environment, Energy, Agriculture, Science and Technology, Finance, and Tourism, as well as 3 representatives of the private sector. The lawmakers said the lead agency would not only oversee the conduct of exploration of Philippine rice, but would also help secure the rights of the Philippines over the resource-rich area situated off the coast of Aurora, his home province. The Philippine rice is touted to have vast natural gas deposits and mineral resources and is a natural breeding ground and habitat for several marine species. Malacanang announced that while President Rodrigo Duterte declared that only Filipinos can now conduct scientific research in the area, foreign entities can still reapply for licenses for future research. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Flaine Cervantes.
President Rodrigo Duterte signed into law a measure that subsidizes irrigation for local farmers. The President signed the Free Irrigation Services Act, which grants free irrigation to farmers owning not more than 8 hectares of land and condones unpaid irrigation fees by farmers who till the same size of property. Those not covered by free irrigation are farmers with more than 8 hectares of land, corporate farms, plantations, fish ponds, and those drawing water for non-agricultural purposes. The law states that free irrigation service is part of the government's commitment to lower the cost of agricultural production and relieve farmers and irrigators from the burden and consequence of unpaid irrigation service fees.
The National Food Authority could have more affordable rice available beginning April if the agency gets the go signal to import this February through government-to-government or G2G arrangement. The NFA noted G2G facilitates importation since governments concerned transact directly with each other under this arrangement. NFA has admitted its rice inventory is already running low. The agency must maintain 15 days and 30 days rice buffer stocks at any given time and during the July-September lean season to ensure availability of lower-cost rice nationwide. This week, however, the NFA's total inventory of some 1.2 million bags of rice may last for 2 days only. The country may have to wait until around May for inbound rice shipments if the NFA imports the grains this February through a government-to-private scheme. Earlier, the NFA Council approved the agency's 250,000 metric ton rice importation for this year. Despite its shrinking inventory, the agency said there was no rice shortage in the country since commercial rice was available in the market.
The Manila Economic and Cultural Office confirmed that the missing Filipina from the 6.4 magnitude earthquake that hit Hualien, Taiwan on Tuesday is found dead. In a television interview, Lito Banayo, MECO chairman, identified the Filipina as Melody Albano Castro from Abulug, Cagayan province, who was working as a caregiver in Taiwan. He said Philippine labor officials had already informed the next of kin. Castro was previously reported among those trapped in a building during the earthquake. Charmaine Avikivil, Executive Director at the DFA Office of Public Diplomacy, said the team from MECO already returned to the site to work on the Filipinas' repatriation. The death toll already rose to 10 as rescuers raked through the collapsed establishments to search for more than a dozen people still missing. Still to come, Malacanang warns Communist founder Jose Maria Sison against provoking war with the government. The Department of Finance proposes job fairs that will draw overseas Filipino workers back to the country. These and more when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Malacañang warned Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison not to threaten the government with war. The palace maintained it has the resources to fight back against the communist rebels. Here's our report.
Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque echoed the government's readiness for war a day after President Rodrigo Duterte blasted Communist Party of the Philippines founder Joma Sison for remarking that the New People's Army, or NPA, was still capable of launching attacks that could kill one soldier a day. Duterte said in a meeting with NPA rebel returnees in Malacañang that he could have 5 NPA rebels killed for every soldier killed. Roque clarifies Duterte's statement, saying the president warned Sison not to threaten the government. Roque said the president wanted Sison to know that there were enough government resources to retaliate should the NPA launch attacks. The military is also ready if he wants to wage a war. In his meeting with rebel returnees, Duterte said it was a good decision for them to return to the fold of law instead of fighting and dying for a flawed cause. Duterte meanwhile assured them that his administration will provide them shelter, jobs, livelihood, and education for their children. He also said that he planned to send female former rebels to Hong Kong and China for them to have a grasp on the successes of capitalism to counter Sison's ideology. This is part of the president's promise to welcome them in Malacañang during a meeting in December last year in Panacan in Davao City. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Rom Dulfo.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, will look into Supreme Court Chief Justice Maria Lourdes Sereno's income tax returns. The House Justice Committee prompted this investigation during a congressional hearing on the impeachment complaint filed by lawyer Larry Gadon against the top magistrate. In his complaint, Gadon alleged that Sereno earned 37 million pesos in fees when she was part of the legal team that defended the government in an arbitration case against Piatco. Sereno, however, said that she earned 30 million pesos in the Piatco cases. BIR Deputy Commissioner Arnel Gubalya submitted before the committee the income tax returns of Sereno from 2004 to 2010, covering the period when she worked on the case involving Piatco. He said they hope to assess whether or not there was under-declaration or non-declaration of income. The House Justice Panel meanwhile discovered that Sereno only filed SAL-Ns for the years 1998, 2002, and 2006, during her tenure as law professor at the UP College of Law from 1986 up to 2006. Non-filing of SAL-N shall be penalized with 5 years in prison, a fine not exceeding 5,000 pesos or both, and possible disqualification to hold public office.
Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III is considering the holding of job fairs overseas to lure back Filipinos in the construction sector. Dominguez said he had been informed about the possibility of lack of skilled manpower such as technicians, welders, and those needed for finishing jobs. The finance chief said he broached the idea for infrastructure-focused government agencies to hold job fairs abroad in areas where there are large numbers of overseas Filipino workers. Dominguez stressed that local companies had to adjust the competitive salary rate as compared to that overseas. Dominguez said the job fairs may be held in coordination with the Department of Labor and Employment. The current administration plans to spend at least 8 trillion pesos until the end of its term in mid-2022 to build infrastructure nationwide under the Build program. The planned public infrastructure spending is estimated to contribute about 2.5% in gross domestic product this 2018.
An unattended bag reported by civilians to Task Force Davao in Lasang, Davao City yielded an improvised hand grenade. The incident happened at around 6:30 a.m. Thursday, about 50 meters away from the Lasang footbridge going to Davao City and 1.2 kilometers from the TF Davao checkpoint in Sitio Likanan, Barangay Lasang. Apparently, the bag was thrown off the highway. Colonel Nolasco Mimpin, commander of Task Force Davao, said that the improvised grenade was not left to detonate since it needed to be ignited first before it will explode. The grenade was made of PVC pipe, detonating cord, blasting cap, and fertilizer mixed with diesel fuel. These materials are also used for dynamite fishing, although NPAs also use the same. An investigation is ongoing to identify the person who left the said bag.
The city government of General Santos City has launched a crackdown against businesses that have been operating without proper licenses or permits. Geraldine Zamora, chief of the city's Business Permits and Licensing Division, said they deployed inspection teams in various barangays to check the operating permits of businesses' establishments. She said the crackdown was aimed against businesses that failed to register or renew their permits during the annual registration period last month. All businesses that would be found operating without permits issued by the local government would be padlocked. The airing establishments would be given some time to process their permits but would be subjected to corresponding penalties and surcharges. The officials said the inspections would later cover businesses that had violations with requirements based on their 90-day window period. As part of its streamlined business permits and licensing system, the local government issued business permits to establishments with incomplete requirements but were given 90 days to accomplish them. Under the system, issuance of business permits may now take 2 hours or less. Up next, FIVOX advises residents to stay vigilant as Mayon continues to show unrest. Filipinos in New York band together to help displaced families in Marawi City. These and more when the PNA Newsroom returns.
Ito ang gusto ko, total pera naman ng tao, to observe editorial independence through innovative programs and intelligence treatment, analysis of reports, as well as the development of national and international significance.
From February 19 to 21, 2018, the Presidential Communications Operations Office will launch the National Information Convention to strengthen partnership between the private and public sector, encourage communicators to influence for the common good, and to organize a movement to motivate society towards nation building. With over 1,500 communication practitioners participating in 3 days of intense communication courses. The National Information Convention, spurring national development and empowering communities through information. February 19 to 21, 2018 at the SMX Convention Center, SM Lanang, Davao City.
FIVOX warned residents to stay vigilant as Mayon volcano remains active with its chance of a big explosion possibly on its way. Here is our report.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology reiterated its warning to residents against being complacent over Mayon's activity slowdown for the past several days. FIVOX Chief Renato Solidum said the volcano was still consistently exhibiting eruptive activities to include continuous lava flow and fountaining, pyroclastic flows, earthquakes, increased sulfur dioxide emission, and bulging at the edifice. Solidum said the volcano has emitted 70 million cubic meters of lava since it erupted on January 13. He stressed that the large volume of lava that was expelled was due to an open vent at the volcano's crater. Solidum clarified news reports saying that the volcano's activity was slowing down. During the past several days, FIVOX detected large volume of lava flow as well as earthquakes and tremors, signifying that magma is building up and intruding the volcano's vent. Solidum noted that the volcano may either exhibit more lava fountaining events, ash plumes, lava flow, and pyroclastic flows, or trigger a big explosion due to gas pressure and magma buildup. Solidum said all parameters for Alert Level 4 status were still present. The FIVOX bulletin for the past 24-hour observation period said the volcano exhibited sporadic to near continuous lava fountaining, lava flow, and degassing episode that generated a steam-laden ash plume up to 400 meters high. Lava fountaining was accompanied by rumbling sounds audible within 10 kilometers of the summit crater. As Alert Level 4 remains in effect, the public is advised not to enter the 8-kilometer extended danger zone. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cave.
The Department of Health assured that they will extend medical services and assistance to children who receive the dengue vaccine, Dengvaxia. In a dialogue with Gabriela, Metro Manila DOH Assistant Secretary Maria Francia Laksamana explained that they have been placing information materials in school and communities where the dengue vaccination had been conducted. Laksamana said they are distributing identification cards that indicate that the recipients of the controversial vaccine are in a department master list, which would enable them to access services meant for them. Regarding hospitalization, they have already given government and private hospitals guidelines to accept patients who receive the dengue vaccine. She said arrangements were made with PhilHealth so laboratory exams can be given for free. Gabriela members held a rally in front of the department to air their concerns over the cost of monitoring the children and possibly their hospitalization. The Gabriela members, led by Representative Arlene Brosas, said they have put up a Dengvaxia watch and hotline to monitor the concerns of parents of these children, especially those who are living below the poverty line.
Davao City played host for 250 Filipino Canadians who visited the city for the 5th winter escapade. The delegation, led by Philippine Ambassador to Canada Petronila Garcia, is staying in the city from February 7 to 10. The winter escapade aims to entice Filipino Canadians to deepen their appreciation of the beauty of the Philippines. It is a yearly activity by the Department of Foreign Affairs and the Department of Tourism in cooperation with the Philippine Embassy in Canada. Davao City is one of only 2 cities chosen by the delegates outside of Metro Manila, the other one being Bacolod City. The city hosted a welcome dinner for the Filipino Canadians. They also got a glimpse of the city's culture through the traditional Moro dances and the Kadayawan number by the Ateneo Sidlak and Santa Ana Performing Arts Guild. Among the places they visited were the Tribal Village, the Banana Beach, the Philippine Eagle Foundation, and Malagos Garden Resort.
A group of Filipinos from New York City banded together to donate school bags to children in Marawi City.
The group calls on fellow overseas workers to reach out to conflict-affected residents in the spirit of Bayanihan. Here is our report.
Bayanihan is a core essence of the Filipino culture. This is what a group of overseas Filipino workers proved when they went to Marawi City all the way from New York City to donate 400 school bags to the children of family beneficiaries that already transferred in Biyaya ng Pagbabago Transitional Shelter located in Barangay Sagunsongan. I Am Pinoy, Proud Ako consists of individuals currently working and living in New York City and other countries. Rina Advendula is the founder of the said organization, which aims to provide community service to fellow Filipinos.
Nag-goosebump talaga ako kasi again, mahilig ako nang magtulong pero this time is different. You know, it's first time that I help na yung galing sa war. So, parang ang ganda na feeling mo, but at the same time sad. Some mixed feelings talaga nangyari sa akin. But thanks God, I'm here, na nakatulong ako.
Advendula urges other Filipino workers to help the conflict-affected communities in Marawi City.
Ang gusto ko lang po sa mga kapwa natin na overseas Filipino workers around the world na kung hanggang maaari, try to visit here in Marawi para ma-feel nyo na they need you. We need to help them recover the place. Yun na nga, sabi nila, bangon Marawi. So, again, all Filipinos around the world, please help to rebuild Marawi.
I Am Pinoy, Proud Ako volunteers with the other organizations in New York and in one organization in Cebu City are joined together for this so-called Bayanihan.
I'm the president of Rotary Queensboro West Club doon sa New York. That was one of my dream na makapunta dito sa Marawi. So I tried to initiate different organizations sa US. We're based in New York. Through my volunteers, I Am Pinoy, Proud Ako. So I used to do mga charity works.
The group has visited the war-torn city to showcase a Filipino community spirit through distributing 400 pieces of school bags with biscuits, drinks, and toys donated by the I Am Pinoy, Proud Ako volunteers and other partner organizations.
Misay ko sa mga residente ng Marawi, ang buhay talaga parang gulong lang. So this is one of their ups and downs. So this is the time, naghugot tayo, laban lang tayo. It's not the end of the world, but again, it's a new beginning for them.
For PNA Newsroom, Sweet Lukman, Philippine Information Agency.
Let's now check out the weather forecast for Metro Manila and the rest of the country with our reporter, Philaine Cervantes.
Good day, Pia. I'm Philaine Cervantes bringing you today's weather forecast. We're still experiencing cool weather in the evening and early morning thanks to the northeast monsoon affecting northern Luzon. We also have the easterly winds blowing at the eastern section of the country. The northeast monsoon is bringing scattered rains and cloudy skies over Cagayan Valley region and Aurora province, while the Ilocos region and Cordillera will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rains. Eastern Visayas and Caraga region will have cloudy skies with rain showers and thunderstorms due to the easterlies. Meanwhile, Metro Manila and the rest of the country will have localized thunderstorms causing partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rains. Let's now take a look at the extended weather outlook in the country and other parts of Asia.
We're ending the week on a positive note, and of course, Pia, Valentine's Day is just around the corner and the Lenten season is coming a little early this year.
And it seems summer is also around the corner, Will, as we have guests in Davao City spending their vacation for winter promotion.
And we can expect more fun activities to do this summer, but for now, let's take another look at today's headlines.
Malacanang says President Duterte is ready to defend the government's war on drugs before the International Criminal Court. A senator calls for the creation of an agency that will oversee research and exploration activities in Philippine rice. The Department of Finance proposes job fairs that will draw overseas Filipino workers back to the country. Filipinos in New York band together to help displaced families in Marawi City.
Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out these and other stories, visit the PNA website or follow the Philippine News Agency on Facebook and Twitter.
For more stories about the government and all that it is doing for the Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. And that's your daily dose of the hottest news
and the latest information that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I'm William Theo.
And I'm Pia Roses Morato. Good day.